So, welcome to this webinar, and there's a nice group of us here watching live, but also I know that many more people will be on catch up. So, as ever, do get in touch with any questions or queries you may have. So, Flo has kindly prepared some slides, and she's going to share her screen, and I'm going to talk, apparently. There we go. Great. So, welcome to the Sounds of Intent Inclusive Music Education Awards. The good news is we've sort of just finishing a pilot, and we've had lots of great feedback. I mean, really helpful feedback. And basically, we've the big thing is that we've kind of slightly simplified things, which I think everyone will be pleased to hear. Because I'd really love it if just about every school could sign up to the basic principle of we support inclusive music education, and then gradually get more demanding. But I think having a national scheme should try and capture as many people as possible, because then we can approach the government, for example, and say, this is lots of schools, 80% of schools have signed up, so we can sort of speak with a powerful voice. Right. So we've got five main things. First of all, why are we launching the school awards? What are the criteria that we're going to talk about? How will it work? I think Amy's very kindly going to tell us her experience on the pilot scheme, and then we've got lots of time for questions and discussion. I love your slides, by the way, Flo, the sort of gaffer tape that holds them up. It's very sweet. So why are we launching in the wards? Well, above all, to recognise and to celebrate the fantastic practice that does happen in quite a few schools. But we all know that there are sort of what youth music calls cold spots. So by no means is practice equally spread around schools, and it's still a bit of a postcode lottery, really. The sort of music that your child gets in mainstream schools and special schools, I should say. But we hope by having a national scheme that will hopefully help those who aren't quite there yet to be as good as the best. We are passionate, as you know, about encouraging inclusive and developmentally appropriate music or practice. So, we believe that every child has musical abilities, and that it's really important that we provide resources and strategies that suit their music developmental level. We want to provide clear and accessible benchmarks, criteria for schools to work towards so they can get a feel for where they are at in terms of the national picture. We are passionate about supporting professional development and reflection, and the webinar series is really part of that. And above all, I think we want to build a national community of schools committed to musical inclusion and musical excellence for their learners, because that will, apart from anything else, give us a voice with which to approach policymakers. Having spent about 40 odd years in this field, I sense you can never let your foot off the pedal, because the minute you do, the government will start prioritizing something else. So we have to keep music up there as top priority. Thanks, Flo. So here we are. Following the pilot, we've still got three levels: bronze, silver, and gold. And bronze is all about, oh, she went too fast. Oh, Flo.
Sorry, I'll go back.
No, it's all right. Um, no. So, yeah, bronze is all about understanding musical development and celebrating diversity. Next slide, please, Flo. And now we have really stripped this back to four things. The four categories are the same. So we're still talking about learners, which could be babies, it could be early years, could be toddlers, could be children, could be infants, could be adolescents, could be adults, of course. So we're talking about learners, we're talking about staff, we talk about resources, and we talk about policies. During the pilot, people felt that those were the good things to have. So now for bronze, there's a single criterion for learners, which is that they regularly experience music at school, either in music lessons or as part of the wider curriculum. That was an important point that came through, and that they are encouraged to listen and participate. So it'd be nice to think that every school could achieve that. Um, Staff-wise, we've made the criterion that the staff member responsible for coordinating music has taken the short Introduction to Musical Development course, which will be, it's not yet, will be available on the Sounds of Intent website. That'll be about a 40-minute video that you watch and engage with. Resource-wise, Bronze says that there should be a range of instruments available that suit learners' differing abilities, needs, and interests. And finally, in terms of policy, the school has a music policy that recognises the importance of music across the curriculum and makes reference to the Sounds of Intent framework. So that's the 4 things you need for Bronze. Next slide, please. Right, Silver. We now have two criteria for each of those 4 levels. I'll quickly go through them. So learners, at least half of learners have had a general music assessment. We just need to know, are they sound makers, pattern makers, motif makers, music makers, or advanced music makers? So nothing more specific than that. And these learners have access to musical input that takes into account their levels of musical development. Staff-wise, so we've said the staff member responsible for coordinating music has taken the Foundations course available. And also, so this is a slightly higher level online course, again, just about an hour, than the introduction, which is what we expect all staff to do who are working directly with children. But really, the introduction is about 40 minutes. The Foundations is about an hour. In terms of resources, we're looking at acoustic instruments and a range of basic music technology, things like touchscreens and apps. And in terms of policies, music is recognised in policy documentation, importantly, both as a specialist area and also with the capacity to support wider learning, development and well-being. And that a music curriculum is in place that makes reference to Sounds of Intent. Here we go, Flo. Flow. Here we go. Yep. Gold, right. So we've still got 3 criteria for each of the areas. So for learners, we've said that they all should have had a general musical assessment. I mean, all being slightly loose because obviously children come and go, we know that. And that they all, as far as possible, have group music sessions, which could be in their class, for example. But they also, for some who would benefit, have one-to-one sessions. And at least 6 of them have been entered for the Trinity College Award. In terms of staff, so now we've got 3 levels of training. The music coordinator should now have completed the Sounds of Intent Assessor training course, which is already available online, and lots of people will have done that. And that all staff working directly with children should have done the next level down, Foundations, and at least one member of the senior leadership team. This could be where the whole thing goes wrong. No, of course not. One member of the senior leadership team has taken the Introduction to the Musical Development, which is the 40-minute course. And then the next 2, the final bits, are resources. We're talking about a range of acoustic instruments and some specialist ones. We're talking about a range of music technology, including specialist items such as the Mugo or the clarion. I've noticed there's a spelling mistake in Mugo, and that there's a suitable environments are available for music. In terms of policies, a music policy and curriculum is in place, recognises learners' individual abilities, preferences and needs. Wider policies incorporate musical activities where appropriate, and that music features in the school's development plan. There we go. I think this is over to you, Flo.
Yes, thanks, Adam. I'm Flo, and I administrate the awards, so I can sort of answer any questions about how you can actually gain them and the logistics. So basically, schools need to fill out a Google form, which I'll show you them in a second. It's pretty much a self-confirmation that you meet the criteria. Um, at the bronze level, there's no need for any evidence to be uploaded, and the award is free. And then for silver, there are three different pieces of evidence required, which we can talk through in a sec, and four pieces for gold. And there's also a small fee for those two awards as well to cover the cost of the administration of the scheme. Um, and then these applications will be assessed, and hopefully all of them will be successful, and so certificates can be sent. And in terms of timings, we're envisaging that schools apply pretty much over Easter, over the Easter break, and maybe the first couple of weeks of the summer term, and then they'll hear a result like middle to end of the summer term. And this is an example certificate for your enjoyment. So I'll now show you some of these Google Forms just to sort of demystify that element of things. So this is the Google form for the Bronze Award. I hope you can all see it. There's the general questions at the top, name, school, etc. And then there's just four questions for the four criterion. So can you confirm that this? Yes. 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 And then the GDPR question. Now, obviously, the awards are designed with specialist educational settings in mind, and we know that like bespoke environments, there can be all kinds of specific situations. So that's why we've got this other option. So if you perhaps don't meet the letter of the criteria, but you meet the spirit of the criteria, or you have any doubts or any other information you want to provide, then you can always just tick other, and then you can fill it out with whatever you'd like to share. Now the silver.
I didn't know that, Flo. That's a really good idea about the other.
You're welcome.
Hmm.
This is silver, again, the basic questions. And then I'll show you where the evidence requirements come into it. So it's the same, it's just basically the exact wording of the criteria. Can you confirm? So the first question that has a criteria, evidence requirement is that there's a range of acoustic instruments. So the idea is you just take a photo of the instruments available to learners and upload it. Then the second one is about policy documentation, so that music is recognised in it. So you could upload any evidence of any policy documentation here. You can obviously redact whatever you need to redact and just highlight whatever you want to highlight. And then finally, that music, the one about curricula, basically. And likewise, you can upload that here. And then the GDPR question. So should also be fairly straightforward once your school knows that they want to apply for silver. And then the gold, here we go. The gold has obviously far more questions because there's far more criteria, but very much the same format. Can you confirm, blah, blah, blah. So the first, there's four evidence requirements for gold. The first one is, can you confirm that at least 6 learners have had assessments and received a Trinity College London Award in Musical Development? Please upload the certificates here or a screenshot from your Trinity portal. And then the second evidence requirement is about resources. So resources that go further than just instruments, maybe some music technology, specialist items, etc. And then the third requirement is about the environment for group and one-to-one music sessions. So you can upload, this is about showing off, not about, testing you. So you can just upload some photos of any musical environments that you're proud of at your school. And then there's three questions about, three questions about documentation. And you just need to upload one document to evidence these. And then the GDPR question at the end. So that should be pretty easy. There will be a Sounds of Intent, there will be a page within the Sounds of Intent website, which is wholly dedicated to the awards. That's being developed at the moment. So that will be like the hold all for all of the resources that you've heard about today. And that's where you'll find the Google Forms. You just click on the form when you're ready, fill it out, send it in. We get notified, we assess, we give you a certificate. And the payment, if you apply for silver or gold, the payment will be taken by invoice. And I think that covers most of the logistics. Obviously, you can let me know at the end if you've got any questions. And we're now very lucky to be hearing from Amy, who had the pleasure of experiencing our pilot scheme last term, at the beginning of which the awards looked quite different. So yeah, she's here to provide some first-hand experience for us all.
Thanks, Flo. Can everybody hear me okay? I've got these strange headphones on. Okay. So hi everyone, my name's Amy Johnston. I'm a head teacher of a primary special needs school in the west of Yorkshire, in the north of the UK. And I've also got a background in SEND music research. I've completed a doctorate in that area a couple of years ago. So I've made some notes just so I kind of stay on track. But if you want to chip in and ask me any questions, it's absolutely fine. I haven't prepared any slides or anything. I'm just going to talk. So just a little bit of information about my school, because I appreciate you guys might be from quite different places with different school contexts. So we have 201 children at my school across 2 sites. So we're a pretty large special school for a primary setting. We have children with a really wide range of special educational needs. So we have children with profound and multiple learning difficulties, children with severe learning difficulties and autism. But I would describe that the range of autism needs is vast, and we have children with what I would describe as quite severe autism, with severe learning disabilities as well. So quite a lot of special schools in the UK have that kind of range of need now. Other special schools can be more specialist and focus on PMLD or just autism. So the reason, well, I'll just tell you a little bit about how what music provision we have on offer in the school, and we've always had on offer in the school, and then how I kind of landed on the Sounds of Intent Awards and got in touch with Adam's team. So every single child in my school, no matter what kind of curriculum pathway they're on, no matter how complex they may be, they all access a music lesson every week. Up to about an hour, but that can depend. The structure of that varies significantly because of the different needs of the children. And that music lesson can look very, very different. And I think that's a strength of our practice. So for our PMLD children, that might be very much a sensory-based session where music is part and parcel of other sensory kind of activities and other teaching strategies, such as intensive interaction, sensory massage, storytelling, all that kind of thing. And then we've got at the complete other end of the spectrum, we've got children who can access instrumental tuition from the local music service, and they do that as well. So a really wide range of practice and provision on offer. We work quite closely with music charities. So Jessie's Fund come in and do some work with us, and that's been really successful. And we have Live Music Now offering some live music. We have local instrumental groups come in at Christmas, like we had a brass band this Christmas to come in and offer some music. We have 2 choirs. And we have music therapy on offer on both of the school sites. So I appreciate music therapy is slightly different to music education in some respects, but I think it is a really important part of the music provision we have on offer for the children. So I would describe us as quite a musically active school. I suppose it's no surprise when I'm the head, but also a music specialist. So the beauty of that is that I can prioritise music and make sure we have all the right resources. So when I kind of looked at the Bronze Award, once it had been tweaked slightly, I felt that we met that criteria quite easily. When we were talking about resources and instruments, we do have lots and lots of instruments, but also in our music cupboard, I have kind of boxes of sensory resources, so parachutes, scrunchy loops, scarves, lycra, all sorts of other things that I feel for our most profound children helps teach musical concepts and musical engagement, because it helps children engage physically with music. And I think, as Adam was saying, kind of be with other people in music. and be present in the session. So I know they're not musical instruments, but I do feel they are resources that enhance our music provision. So I was kind of confident we met that criteria very easily. And in the UK, all schools now have a requirement to publish what's called a music development plan on their school website. So yeah, we have a policy as well, but I feel that within the policy and the music development plan and the school development plan, music is kind of threaded through everything. So that's kind of why I felt bronze was very achievable very quickly. And I think a lot of schools will probably resonate with things I'm saying and think, oh yeah, we kind of do that as well. It's kind of already in place a lot of the time. So then I was looking at the silver. I mean, I think we already have some aspects of gold, but I think we have gaps in silver. So I think there's things we can, we need to go back and look at. Because I don't actually teach music anymore, being a head, I don't have the time to do that. But what kind of my aim for the school is to obviously kind of get other people teaching music in the way I used to teach music, and embracing the same kind of resources and ideas and training, and trying to cascade that awareness of things like the sounds of intent model that I've worked with for quite a number of years and very aware of. But it's how do you cascade that down to your colleagues and get those people using it, particularly if they're not music specialists. So there's a piece of work at the minute with one of our teachers who is a music specialist. I'm just doing some work with her to try and kind of develop that training with staff and get them on board. But that kind of leads me to the Silver Award and how we're working on that at the minute. So she has her own class, the music specialist teacher, that she teaches all subjects of the curriculum, but obviously also teaches the music. So she's sort of baselining those children on the sounds of intent model at the moment, just her class of 7, and then we're translating that over into the sound makers, pattern makers, motif makers criteria, so we kind of understand where those children are. So that's how we've started, because we're such a big school that I think to roll something like this out, for example, the Sounds of Intent framework, and use it properly, if I just said to all teachers, we'll just work with it and use it, my worry would be that they maybe wouldn't have the confidence to do that properly, maybe not have the time to do it without a lot of support. So I thought we'll start small, start with a teacher who I know will immediately want to work with it, because she's a music specialist and she's got children who really engage well with music, and then we'll kind of grow it within the school from that point, which I think will be the point at which we're probably ready to apply for the Gold Award. I'm just thinking, is there anything else? I mean, the policy documentation we've already got there, really, but yeah, it's mainly around how do we kind of embed this properly. I certainly didn't want to sort of introduce it become a bit of a tokenistic thing with the teachers, because teachers already use lots of different systems to kind of teach and assess the children. Special schools were very good at being quite bespoke and picking things that work and using bits of this and bits of that. So I definitely wanted it to be embedded properly and used properly and kind of fully supported amongst the teaching team. I mean, we have 34 teachers in my school, so it's a large teaching team. So to actually cascade that properly takes time and thinking and planning. And so I'm sort of still at that stage, really, with the music specialist teacher.
Great. Thanks very much, Amy. No, it's very clear.
No problem.